take my advice about this movie. Do not let the trailer fool you. Hey guys, welcome to Happy Wax TV. So what I was getting at earlier is do not let the trailer fool you. I mean, trailers are meant to promote the movies, and sometimes they're really, really good, and sometimes they're really, really bad. And sometimes they're really, really good, and the movie's crap, and sometimes the movies or the trailer's really, really bad, and the movie's really good. And this is the case for this movie. Now, I don't want to offend anybody who did the editing for the trailer, but I don't know. I've watched probably thousands of horror movie trailers, and I don't know, man. This one just didn't do anything for me. It wasn't exciting. It didn't really draw me in. I just didn't really care. You know what I mean? So I never did a trailer review for it. But I'll tell you one thing. I watched the movie this morning, and this is a great fucking movie. It really is. Wow, where do we start with this one? Okay, so it's directed by Elle Callahan. Now, if you're not familiar with her name, because I know I wasn't, but wow, she's worked on some pretty awesome movies. If you look her up, she worked on Wonder Woman. She worked on Krampus, which is one of my all-time favorite Christmas horror movies, and she worked on The Avengers. Just Age of Ultron, just to name a few. So, I mean, the list goes on and on. So, I mean, she's been around the industry for quite a while. And I believe this is her directorial debut. And the other thing, too, is she also was one of the writers on this movie. And I've said this 1,000 times. I mean, how awesome is it that you not only get to write a script, but then you get to direct that script that you wrote. So this is pretty much her movie. Basically, the synopsis is a group of teenagers unknowingly summon a paranormal presence during their weekend trip to the Joshua Tree Desert. This monster mimics their appearances to hide among them, and yeah, that's exactly what it does. I mean, I'll tell you, going into this film, I didn't think it was going to be very good. Just going by the trailer. Again, I don't mean to go on about the trailer, but the trailer was not good for this film, and it's a shame because I hope a lot of people don't pass this movie because the trailer was so bad. Well, I shouldn't say it was so bad, but it just didn't do anything for me. Do you know what I mean? But I'll tell you, it's a great movie. It's a great story. It's an original story. I'm going to screw the creature's name up. I think it's called the Hishi. I think that's what they call it. And I don't want to give any spoilers for this movie. I'll give you the basic synopsis of it, which I pretty much just did. But it's basically, there's the main stars of this movie are Isaac J. and Ashley Morgan, who play Evan and Zoe. Evan is going to meet his brother in Joshua Tree, and he lives in a trailer there, and they're going to go, hiking and all sorts of shit. And while they are hiking, they meet up with Zoe and her friends, and there's a ton of them too. So it's good to have a big group because then there's going to be lots of kills or whatever. It just makes it for better if there's more people involved. You know what I mean? But anyways, Evan meets up with Zoe. They kind of friend each other. And then Zoe invites Evan back to their place where they're staying in this awesome looking kind of ranch style house for the weekend for their holiday. So Evan kind of shits on his brother and takes off with these people, and then all hell breaks loose. But again, I don't want to give too much away. I mean, if you do watch the trailer and even read the synopsis, which I just gave you off of IMDb, it states there's a shapeshifter in this movie. So that was one of the things that drew me into this. And yes, there is a shape-shifting creature in this movie. I mean, that's no spoiler. I mean, it's right in the trailer. But the legend behind this creature, I knew nothing about, and that was the other thing that I was excited for because I love finding out about new, creatures or myths behind them or the legends and stuff. And again, I knew nothing about this creature, but it's really great the way Elle does this movie. She directs it because she gives subtle hints as to what this creature's doing throughout the entire movie. Again, this is coming from the trailer. It seems to have a thing for fives, and all throughout, even when they open the fridge up, everything is in line with five. There's pictures on the wall. There's stuff on the coffee table. I mean, it's all over the place. And yeah, it's just little subtle things, and then there's like a lead up to the very end where it all kind of comes together. But I like the way she did it. I mean, it was really, it was shot well. There were some amazing open view shots of the desert and the canyons and stuff, and it was pretty awesome. And I like to, the first half of this movie, or the first, I guess it's an hour and a half movie. Like the first 30 minutes are basically just backgrounds and introductions to the characters, which is great. You kind of find out about them, and she gives it enough time that you care about these characters a little bit, so that when they do die, I mean, it's a horror movie, we know people are going to die. So when they do die or get hurt, you have some sort of a feeling for them. And I really like how she did the relationship between Evan and Zoe. It was kind of like that uncomfortable first meeting, getting to know each other. It was real, you know what I mean? Like, and it felt real, and it was good. The way she did it, and the actors, did a good job. It was great. So, and then the second half, or the second act, we kind of get into more of weird shit starts to happen. And again, she does a great job of building tension. And again, I don't want to give spoilers, but I will say one thing. And if you don't want to hear it, close your ears. But there's a shapeshifter in this movie, okay? And there's a few scenes where there's actual conversations in the group, okay, with certain people. And then that person that's in the conversation will walk through another door. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and then they look back and the other person's gone. So it's weird how she does it. Well, I shouldn't say weird, but it's kind of cool because it adds that sense of confusion, because the whole time you're wondering, well, that actually just happened, because through the whole movie at this ranch that they've rented, they're doing drugs and drinking, so they're drunk and stoned half the time. So it leaves you that thing in the back of your head of, is that actual reality, or are we just seeing like through their drunken stoned eyes sort of thing? So, I mean, she fools us a lot, which is cool, and it's the creature, hiding among these people, you know what I mean? Which is really kind of cool. So, and then the last act is when all the hell, the shit hits the fan and stuff for these guys, and that's definitely no spoilers there. It's just, this is truly a movie that you need to watch without knowing anything going into it. So if you want to find out more, like, a more in-depth review on this, or a spoiler review, don't. Just watch the movie first and then watch the spoiler reviews afterwards, because you seriously, it'll ruin the movie for you, because this movie is based on surprise and kind of like giving you like what the fuck moments, and you don't want to ruin that because you won't enjoy it. So just take my word, do yourself a favor, don't read any spoilers for this flick, and you'll enjoy it. I fucking loved it. To give it a rating, I would probably, for a lower budgeted movie with hardly any CGI in it, I would probably give this one a very strong 7.5, maybe even an 8. The ending was a tad bit lacking. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more gore, but again, I don't know the budget on this movie, but I'm just guessing it's like a lower budgeted movie. So she did a great job with what she was given. And again, I'm really happy that she went with the more practical route. There are scenes where you do see the creature very quickly, and you can tell it was a lower budgeted movie because the CGI of the creature is not very good, but it's very quick, and it's totally acceptable because this is a lower budgeted flick. So, but the acting's really good. And you care about these kids, you know what I mean? Like, you get to know them in the first half. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I did enjoy this. I would give this a strong 7.5, maybe even an 8. So anyways, it's out now. It's called Head Count. Again, don't let the trailer fool you. This movie is fantastic. I guarantee. I usually judge my movies by how much I pay attention to the movie, or if I'm playing games on my phone, and I did not pick my phone up once while I was watching this flick. So it just kind of draws you in from the beginning, and it doesn't let go to the very end. So I just wish there was a little bit more oomph at the very, very end of this flick. But other than that, I thought it was fantastic, very original, and it's a pretty cool original story. So anyways, make sure you check it out, Head Count. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave me comments down below if you have seen this flick, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back and comment. I'm interested to see what you guys think of this one. So anyways, Head Count, check it out, and until next time, guys, stay scared.